Okay, so you obviously might have different quotations to these, which is absolutely fine. I didn't want to overwhelm you. So I just picked out little key sections that I thought you could think about, okay? So which quotations are used to describe the scavengers? So it talks about them being up since 4 AM, grungy from their route, the older of the two with grey iron hair and a hunched back looking down like some gargoyle Quasimodo. So it kind of makes them feel like they're not quite human. And, you know, they're coming in at ungodly hours. He's describing him as a Quasimodo kind of gargoyle, which obviously relates to kind of all that imagery to do with night, darkness, being inhuman. And the idea of him being hunchbacked as well suggests that obviously he's kind of deformed in a way. So it very much presents them as being like scavengers as such. So, you know, they go around collecting people's rubbish. They're kind of not a very valuable part of society, which obviously isn't true. In contrast to that then, quotations about the beautiful people. So they're in their elegant open Mercedes. They're an elegant couple. They're hip with their three-piece linen suit. She's got blonde hair and sunglasses on. You know, she's casually coiffed with a short skirt and coloured stockings, and they're on the way to the architect's office. The imagery attached to the beautiful people is all very elegant and classy. You know, they're in a Mercedes, they're on the way to the architect's office, they're all dressed perfectly and prim. It's a huge contrast to the scavengers who are looking over at them. And the idea is to show that there are many people in society who may be of the same age, who may have had the same opportunities, but they can go very different pathways. And it just shows us kind of the diversity within society, which is obviously something we've been thinking about, isn't it? We've been thinking about cultural diversity, but we've actually not touched upon different diversities within, you know, one kind of set culture. So we are going to use this information today to create a peak paragraph, okay? So the question we're going to answer today with our peak paragraph is, how does the writer present the two scavengers and the two beautiful people? Last lesson you should have done some work on picking out quotations, so this should be a super easy task really, and it shouldn't take you the whole lesson, but I'm going to say it's going to take you the whole lesson. Okay, and the idea is you're going to create me two contrasting peaks. So you're going to do one that focuses on the two scavengers, and you're going to do one that focuses on the two people. Obviously, I've already barked on about peak paragraphs, but can you remember what PEE stands for? Okay, so give yourself 5 minutes to write it down. Then we're going to move on to the next slide to see the answer. So you should have point, example, explanation. And the reason that we teach you this way of creating, you know, a PE paragraph is that essentially it's a way of formulating an answer that the examiner is looking for without, you know, it being too difficult. So your point is, what is your answer to the question? Your example is a quotation from the text. It's evidence to support what you're saying. Your explanation tells the examiner exactly how you're linking your quotation to your point. Now, my challenge is, can anyone remember what K stands for? Okay. And you should have keyword, okay? And that means you pick out a keyword from your quotation that you explore in more depth. And when you do that keyword, you should be thinking about something called connotations, okay? And connotations just means associations that you make with that word. So we've spoken about it before, so like the gargoyles. Well, gargoyles are like ugly, deformed creatures that, you know, usually were on the sides of castles and whatnot, and then through the generations they might be on gateposts and things like that. But the idea is that they're connected to kind of evilness, demons, darkness, and this idea of being inhuman. And obviously, if we think about that imagery as associated with the scavengers, then it makes them feel like they're inhuman as well. So can you see how I've developed my initial ideas by thinking about the connotations of the word? That's what keyword analysis is about, okay? And like I said previously, some of you will be able to do peak really easily. Some of you, PEE will be enough. So K is a challenge. It's for if you want to push yourself a little bit further. PEE is my expectation. Okay then, so your task for this lesson is to produce these two PEE or two peak paragraphs, okay? So what I've done is I've created two slides. They're very similar. So this one is to help you to write your first PEE, which is about the two scavengers. And then the second slide is to help you write your PEE about the two beautiful people. So you only need to pick one quote that explains about them, and all you're doing is you're answering my question. So what do we learn about the scavengers? What do we learn about the beautiful couple? Okay, so this should take you about 10 to 15 minutes to write one full PEE. or peak, and then it should take you another 15 minutes to write the second one. So that should take you to the end of this lesson. So make sure you're concentrating, make sure you're working hard, and if you'd like to send these over to me, I am really eager to see what you're doing in terms of PE. I saw a couple last time, but not everyone's. So please do send them over to me, and also make sure that you've answered the Show My Homework quiz. Thank you.